Hi, my lovely souls. Lizzie the Lightworker here. So today I want to do a video about an inner child healing spread for Capricorn in Capricorn season. So this could apply to Capricorn or any of us in Capricorn season's energy. So I've already shuffled up and I got everything ready here. And what I want to start with in the first position, we're going to pull about 7 cards. So the first card is going to be how my inner child feels. So how do you feel? How does your inner child feel within yourself? Because we all have our inner child, and most of our inner childs are damaged or not complete. So how my inner child feels. Okay. So your inner child could feel like possibly there's things from childhood that you weren't able to move on from, or things that you're detached from. That's a big possibility here. This sort of has to do with whatever you needed or wanted as a child. Maybe now, currently in life, you don't know what you need or you don't know what you want. It's sort of like a mystery to you, but you feel empty or unfulfilled. Or like something's missing. But this is about sort of evolving and like what's next. And it could indicate stagnation in an area of your life. So it's really like sort of move up and move on if you can. And it's also about being authentic with yourself. So staying true to yourself. So your inner child could feel just a little bit of disarray right now, and that you need to reevaluate lots of things. It could be in every aspect of your life, or it could be in just a couple of areas of life, but definitely to reevaluate. Just in general, there's something somewhere that's saying or suggesting that there's a walking away aspect. It could be the end of something, or there's some time that needs to be taken to do some soul searching. That's a big soul searching card. So that's how your inner child feels, maybe a little bit lost and needing to make some essential changes. Okay, so the next card we're going to pull is what I lacked as a child. So what did you lack as a child? Okay, so sadness and isolation. So this has to do with sort of maybe feeling like you didn't really have a lot of friends or a lot of social outlets, or maybe like you never fit in. It's very possible. So lacking this as a child, you would grow up feeling this way and maybe have a hard time trusting people. You might have a hard time letting people in. You might have a hard time with boundaries. You might let the wrong ones in. So having that, like lacking that as a child, being sort of isolated. Maybe you were sad. Maybe things never went your way. Maybe you moved around a lot. Maybe you never had that confidence that you needed to make friends or keep friends. That's possible. It's also possible that you could have been disappointed a lot. Maybe there was some sorrow and maybe some healing that needed to be done, transitioning into adulthood. But it really does have a lot to do with trust issues as well. Sadness and loss, maybe dwelling on that loss, maybe from years ago, you're still in grief over it, or you're still dwelling, sort of could it be affecting, your life now. It just feels like here that you could have like lacked hope. So as a child, what you lacked, maybe I would say the general theme would be hope, sort of like moving beyond despair, really finding joyful love, letting go, moving on. I think that that's really the theme here, more or less. Okay, so let's get the next card out, is something that left my inner child scarred. So something that could have really hurt your inner child or left it scarred. Okay, so seeking the truth. Well, seeking the truth would have to do with maybe as a child that, you felt like people lied to you a lot, or were not truthful with you, or they hid things from you, and you sort of found out in harmful ways that caused trauma. Maybe you felt like you had to be cautious with people. Maybe you felt like you couldn't trust people that you should have been able to trust. Maybe, your parents lied to you. One or more parents lied to you. Maybe your mother, maybe your father, maybe both of them. Maybe they did that because they thought they were trying to protect you, and really it caused you more issues with trust than you needed to have. Maybe you had to question people's motives, or always have to sort of get to the bottom of things. Maybe it left you feeling like most people in general were deceptive, and that you couldn't maybe trust your inner knowledge or your inner intuition. So now in life, that would be telling you to trust your intuition more and up, your gut reactions to things. Maybe you became a type of person that you shared too much information with people, too much of your private thoughts or your feelings. And maybe that's a problem that you might have that you're still doing. Because like with the trust issues, that could go either way. You could be overly trusting or not trusting enough. But if you were in a place like that in your childhood where you were never sure of things, that would leave you in a vulnerable position in your adult life. You would feel very vulnerable. You would be very cautious with people or wary of people, maybe scanning their body language, or afraid to speak up. It would definitely cause that type of a scar. You also might be the type of person that won't tolerate lies or liars, or you might be able to see right through lies or liars. That's a possibility. So that's not really a scar. That's actually, it could be possibly a benefit. But all in all, you could also be the type of person that avoids obligations and responsibility for fear of, if that would put you in a vulnerable position. You wouldn't like to be in a vulnerable position. Let's just put it that way. So, okay. So how does it affect my life now? So in your life now, how does this affect you? Okay, so strengthening bonds. So what you'd want to do is, if you had trouble with one or more parents or a caregiver, I don't know, maybe you're raised by your grandparents or an aunt or an uncle, maybe you're raised by your mom or your dad or one or the other or both. It's saying to really sort of go back and fix whatever you need to fix with your parents, or fix whatever you need to fix with your caregivers. Sort of resolve the things that really troubled you or bothered you. Maybe just talking about it, getting it off your chest might help. Maybe, you have trust issues with one or more parents. Really what this is telling you to do is try to resolve conflicts with parents or parental figures or anybody that has taken care of you. It's telling you to resolve. It sort of has to do too with controlling your emotions and how you react emotionally to them. Whether, you blow up at them quickly, or you're short with them, or you don't believe anything they say, or maybe they have mental illness going on, or, maybe they have some instabilities in their own life. And maybe you judge them for that, or you feel sorry for them for that. So you are in maybe a caregiver role now yourself with your parents, or maybe you're in a victim role where you felt like you were victimized your whole life by a parent or both, or a caregiver. But this has to do with bringing back your own stability, sort of finding your own way to be grounded, your own self-assurance, sort of, so to speak. The emotional energy that you spend on being angry or upset or feeling disabled by these relationships or bonds with people from your past, particularly parents or someone who raised you or had any effect on raising you. Okay, let's get into something you can do to heal. So something you can do to heal is choose your battles. So this goes right in correspondence with this. It's definitely telling you to not fly off the handle or let negative emotions push you into, fighting or screaming matches with people. It's really telling you how to spend your energy here. I would say that maybe a lot of the time you feel like you're on the defense. That's definitely something here. So that could be something to heal. If you're always on the defense, you feel like you need to be this way, or you feel under attack. Let's just say when your parents are saying something to you, or even your siblings, or anybody that's involved in your direct family life, or that had to do with your childhood. If you feel like you're on the defense all the time and you have to stand your ground and be strong, and you're sort of bullheaded about things, it's telling you got to really pick those battles. Don't worry about, validation. It is important sometimes to take a stand and assert yourself and stand true to your convictions and all of that. But, your energy could be misread as aggression, and the other person might push back, and then, you'll feel the need to justify yourself. So that has to do with sort of, letting some things go. You have to really think about, is this worth my energy right now? Do I really want to do this? Do I really want to give this much energy up to this person? So that is a good thing that you can do to heal. And let's just see, we're going to get into how to support your inner child. Okay, so observe. So to support your inner child, things in life that, you need to put your focus on, pretty much every aspect of life, just observe. You can do this with people, with places, with your work life, with your relationships. It has to do with kind of forming new understandings about people, sort of surrendering to the experiences and not worrying about control all the time. Sort of like trusting the process and not so much feeling like you're on the outside looking in all the time, because that could be something that has hurt your inner child. So release, sort of surrender, reconsider things about your life and about your past. Think about what's really happening in your life. I would say sometimes if you surrender to the experiences, you'll learn a great, great deal. And ultimately, it'll give you what you truly need. But to support your inner child, I would say trust the process, have faith in the journey, let go of the outcome, surrender the outcome to a higher power. Once you do that, you can sort of relax more and just let things come to you, and you might start attracting better things and more positive experiences. I would say just gain new perspectives on situations. Really sit and think before you spend that energy on people, and think about how you can change your thought process. How can you think differently about things? That sort of thing. Okay, so that's something you can do to help support your inner child. So then the final card here is going to be a message from your inner child. So what does your inner child want you to know? Master. So, your inner child wants you to get the depth of the core things in life. Don't be fearful of things. Don't be afraid to change. Don't let negative self-talk interfere in your goals or your commitments. Try to let go of some of those insecurities that you might have from childhood. You might be fearful of something that happened in the past that showed you that maybe commitments are shaky. Maybe your parents got divorced, or maybe they just never got along and they fought a lot in front of you and you were subject to that. But definitely healing is needed. So your inner child wants you to heal everything that we've talked about here. These are all positive messages, things you can do to help that inner child heal. Don't have a fearful heart. A fearful heart closes in upon itself and it only sees negativity and doubt. So if you start to open up a little more and you realize that you're worthy of being loved, or if you'll ever find love at all, these thoughts can be controlled and you can manifest more. And end destructive cycles. So this is really telling you to end self-destructive cycles, and that healing is definitely needed. And we've talked about some of the ways that you can do that. Okay, so this also has to do with speaking up about your needs and asking for help, not being afraid to do that, but with the right people. It has to do with facing your fears, letting go of deceptions, the lies you tell yourself, and maybe the lies that you tell other people that you don't even know. They might be subconscious little lies that are coming out in your speech, in your talking with people. So that's how, you know, you do that. Message from your inner child is yes, to heal. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I really, really do. Please leave me some thoughts and comments. And as always, many, many blessings to you all. Love and light. This has been Lizzie the Lightworker. Thanks for watching.